Hello, how are you? It's quite an interesting thing that it didn't work today. I don't know why. Hey, welcome everybody. Welcome to the show. Welcome to TechCon. My name is Petra, and for some reason that connection did not work. That might be because I just installed the new version of vMix 27. Not saying that they are not great or so, but that might be one of the reasons why. Anyway, also welcome to everybody who is online. Let's hope that everything will be working perfectly in just a bit. Let me say hello to people. There you go. It works. Hello, MT. Welcome everybody, and also Niels is in the house as well. You are receiving a top spot in the chat. Yes. But Niels, you're a good runner-up, and also Raoul is in the house. I noticed that last time you were not in the house in time, but you now are. So welcome. Really appreciate you for being here. Indeed, it looks like he has already won again. MT, that is. Eric is also in the house. Get reports today. I'm looking forward to this. Absolutely. Thank you so much. And also, Veal is in the house. Hello, each and every one of you from Finland signing in. Thank you so much. Let me see if I'm not forgetting somebody. And oh, by the way, it's cool that you like the music, MT. I also think it's fantastic. By the way, if there are any questions throughout this video, please let me know. If you're watching live, you can do it right now. If after the fact, then of course you can also leave a comment, and I will be seeing that later. I do read the comments. Oh yeah, so I did notice that my video is a bit choppy. It happens more often, but it seems to be locally to my own. So let me know if you see some choppiness, then I will know that I cannot help it at the moment, but at least I know that I need to look a little bit further than that. I recognize the opening cue music. That is correct. That is indeed the real music. The other one is a little bit edited. And welcome from Stuttgart in Germany. Welcome. And TVJ is also in the house. I'm gonna go a little bit fast today. Digital Creation is in the house. Welcome, guys. He says, and Nil says hello, Petra and chat. And APN TV is also in the house. Wave from Brighton, the UK. Absolutely fantastic, guys, for being here. And let's start this show. I have to do a quick confession that I am very late to the game today if it comes to preparations. But I have a show prepared for you guys. Because, of course, I have been living quite a lot in the live video realm for just a bit. Let me explain. So one of the things that is big here in the Netherlands and also in Germany and in Belgium and, but let's say roughly this area is Carnaval. Carnaval is huge. It starts on the 11th of November with all kinds of events. These are just events throughout the coming months that are just one event and then something less and then another event, something less, another event, something less. But it all stops in the week of 10 until 12th of February, then or 13th to 14th of February, I have to tell you. Then the real carnival is going into play. But before that, of course, those events are really important. You have events like discussing which songs should be part of it used to be the Carnival CD. These days it's on the Spotify playlist. Obviously, it's also modern. Next to that, which songs can get a music video. And also that's one thing. And now last week it's more about sketches and dancing and people that are like a stand-up comedian. I would say having a very good time. So that part, the last one, the theater part, that's exactly what I want to talk to you about today. Actually, I had two roughly the same things. Well, the theater part that I will start with is more, let's say, professional, because it's all very much time based and really good, well managed. The guy who's doing that, well, for free, but he is professionally an event producer, so he knows exactly what he's doing. And the other one, which was a day later, was actually less of I would say professionally produced show, but more fun. There was more. It's normal. It's more normal. Let's say it that way. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Anthony says, "Did I just hear Robin?" No, you did not. It was actually Scooter, who was on the back of my dad, walking past me. But of course, being a professional, not really. I try to not react to that, but I'm sure that my dad will come with Robin, and if not, I will try to get him this afternoon. If he's sleeping, I will not. Obviously, I'm not going to do that. But if so, I will show that. And yes, they both are keeping my dad busy, and my dad is actually like 10 meters that way, so he is here. And indeed, very important. Thank you so much for smashing the like button. Really appreciate that, indeed. All right. Without further ado, let's talk about the thing that I have been working on, and it's a theater show. And this time around, I actually wanted to step up in my professional preparations. So I actually created a Word document that I will walk you through. Now, some things are in Dutch, but I will provide a English translation immediately, and I will also say whatever I'm doing and why I'm doing it. So maybe it's something that you also want to do it. It did save me a lot this time around because I was prepared. And people do like that, especially if you have a theater production that is quite, well, let's say, on a professional level. Even though everybody was volunteers, just to clarify, myself also. So also the video production was fully for free, which is something that I typically do not do. But this time around, I wanted to do that because it's such a huge situation here in where I live. So it makes a lot of sense. So without further ado, let's check it out. So what you see here is a Word document. It says a technical run book, and this is the event Circus Muk, which is not even Dutch. It's a dialect. The 19th of January 2024, and this is version 1 of that documentation. So there is some version control on it as well, but this particular instance, it was one time only, so I did not have to go through it. Then the first thing that I do always is to talk about who is in the crew. So you see my name as a technical producer, basically switching the show. We've got Edwin, who's the main camera. We'll talk about that later. And Lucas, who is a young guy. I think he's about 18 years old. So he's really young. And he was also there with camera 2, as it states right here. Then there are some actions that needed to be done up front. So these actions are really preparations before everything's happening. And basically what I'm asking here is to Boss, who is a person. He is actually the technical lead at the theater, and we know each other quite well. But I really wanted to know, can I prepare everything? So build the cameras, build up the production booth a day before, because it's really important to have the time to really be, fully done, so that you can focus on making really nice shots. And that is what we wanted to achieve this time around. Well, that is the first one. Is that can we come on the 17th or 18th of January? And the next one is and then the next one is that if we want to do some more work, When can we do that? Is that on the 19th? So that were the things that I actually already did. So actually these are all striped through. But then I also provided this documentation to Bas so that he could actually read it up front, make sure that everything is oriented and correctly done. Then this is actually a map of the theater. So there's actually 2 layers to the theater. Now the bottom layer, this one right here, is actually, you can push it a little bit up, because it's also on top of most of this part right here. But I did use this as to say, okay, so camera 1 is really at the back of this area. Camera 2, so camera 1, which this is not camera 1 anymore, it's actually camera 4, but anyway. So camera 4 is a PTZ camera, and it's going to be on top of a ridge, and it will be looking down on the wait a second, the stage. That's it. We're looking on the stage, and then we've got camera 1, which is fully on the back of the theater, and it's just pushing everything there, and it's this big camera. As a matter of fact, I actually have a video on that camera immediately, so let's go there. So this is all the way in the back, and let's show that from well, now, well prepared, Petra. Go back, please, and let's give you some more. So this is all the way in the back, as you can see, and this is the camera that we had in there. This is a Sony camera, and this camera has a beautiful lens. We actually rented that lens, and it's here with, of course, a big intercom, and this is literally where it is and where you can find it. So that is really cool. And let's move on to this one again. I think that I also have the other one, the camera 2. So let's check that out quickly before I go further. I think that I have that. We did decide on a different route, different location than we first thought, but it is what it is. But let's see if I have a video on that. Yep, I do have a video on it, so I'll show that one to you as well. Let's do this. See, it's a little bit crooked, but don't worry about it. It's going to be okay. So this is, it's roughly really there at the very end. That's where the camera is, right there at the very end. Oops. So that's not a great show. Let's get to the other one because this is terrible. Sorry for that. That one we already saw. Okay, let's do this one first. So these are the cameras that I had. So this is walking up the stage, and then if I swivel to the left, you'll see the first PTZ camera. Of course, that's the Burdock PTZ camera that I have right in front of you, and that's on the left-hand side, and that's basically showing all of this. Then I'm going to go to the other side, and that's where a Sony camera is right there. And this is a manned camera. So that's something that is actually somebody is behind it and also has its own intercom. Then hopefully, yeah, you cannot really see the PTZ camera, unfortunately. Let's move to the back because there are multiple cameras. Because also if you look here, you also see a PTZ camera by Burdock right there. That's right there. And another one on the other side as well. So we had in total 4 PTZ cameras and 2 manned cameras that we had here. And I think that is a very nice setup, as you can see right there. Of course, utilizing the arms, the Manfrotto arms, that I really love. And then let's look back again to the situation right here. So we did see the camera well, camera 4, which is on the left hand side. That's a PTZ camera. On the right hand side, it was the Sony camera, the manned camera, and then we have also a 5th camera and a 6th camera that are halfway to the stage, and the 7th camera we decided not to do. It was too much of a hassle if it comes to cables, etc., and it would take way too much time to get everything done, and the added value was a bit debatable. Anyway, in hindsight, I would do it, but I did not do it. I did think about not doing that in this particular instance. So let's check what you guys were saying until now. Nice floor plan of the theater, says MT. Indeed, that's great. Neil says, what tripods? That tripod goes nowhere if someone bumps it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that is really important to make sure that everything is out of the way. And what is the beautiful of actually both sides of that of the theater is that it is actually meant for that. So when they built that theater area, they were already expecting some video going on there. So actually on the left hand side where I have my PTZ camera, I could really put it all the way to the back, which meant also I have more space to show. And on the right hand side, I actually decided also to go as far away to the back as possible, so that we actually had the possibility that the camera and the tripod was on a different wooden floor than the person that was actually operating it, which was fantastic. So that's the way that we did that right there. So moving on and continuing with the story, let's go one more. And this is actually, well, I could have used the H2R gear functionality, but I actually used this one right here due to some additional information, and also to make it a little bit less of a complex situation. Is that this what stays here? That's the stage. So that's light coloring here is the stage. This is where people are sitting, and this is my booth, so to speak, my production booth. And basically what I've done is that I said, okay, from the front of house mixer right here, I want to get 2 XLRs to my audio mixer, the Allen Heath CQ18. And by the way, that 2 XLR cables needs to be provided by the theater. So I actually added also some people's names so that I can actually utilize that. The video playback, I want to have a decimator in there because it goes to a projector, and I also want to have that play out via an Ultra into the ATEM. We decided not to do that because we had only one video, and we decided to put that in post because it would be way more time to just do it this way than so. It made a lot of sense. So this Ultra and the playout, we decided to remove from the complexity. Then we've got the camera 1 and the camera 2. And the camera 2 is, of course, manned. That's what states here. And the Edwin is the person that is actually doing that. And I'm actually asking as Edwin to provide me the 60-meter cable. So he needed to provide that to me. Then I got another camera, etc., etc. So basically, it's all the same. But of course, you've got PTZ cameras and you've got manned cameras. Then we've got some ambience boom mics. So these are really the mics that we've placed on both sides of the theater, just to give a little bit more of the ambience of people, the crowds clapping and cheering. Looking at myself, a bit of feedback to myself, I should have put more emphasis on that because it's still a little bit low, but better than last time. Then, of course, I had the ATEM with a multi-cam recording via a SSD drive, but also a backup recording via the HyperDeck shuttle, which is a perfect one for the ATEM Mini. So I actually used this one as a backup routine. Ended up not using it, but it was good to have it. A day later, I needed to have that unit because at the same, roughly the same setup, but in this particular instance, I actually needed it because the SSD drive failed on one single sketch, and that's a bummer. So I decided to utilize that one for that. So that's basically what I've done on this side of things. And then I actually talked about, okay, this cable goes from this to this. Who's responsible for it and who is the owner? This cable goes from here to here and who's the owner? And that's a full list so that I actually could just do plop, 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 plop. And the really cool part is that I could actually put it into these plastic containers that I have and have it totally done up front so that I had less time to spend at the venue. And then some other additional information, which is not that important. So that is the things that I actually, that is the things that I discussed. And now, of course, I also want to talk about a little bit about something else. And that is, of course, my own, let's say, how to say that? Behind the scenes, which is really cool. And I thought that I had that recorded, but I think that I've missed out on that one. So I will wait a second. Is it this one? Yes, it's this one. All right. So I will show you now my production booth. So without further ado, let's share that as well. So this is the lighting environment, and this is where I was sitting in the Qtcom, the back end story. I was actually at the in a different room. This is a lot of gear, but this is what it looked like from right to left. This is my laptop. Of course, you've seen that laptop before with the program, a nice monitor with the HP with a light on top of it. A lot of cables, a lot of converters, and this is roughly the setup that I have with the Allen & Heath right here as well. And actually, you can see that I got my audio inside of it, which is fantastic. So that was roughly the setup, but I can imagine that was a little bit quick. So let me show a picture of it one more time. I think that I have a picture right here. Yes. Let's give you a little bit more time to look over it. So there you go. So on the right hand side, I'm using my trustworthy HP Omen. It's already a big thing, 4 years old. HP Omen running the ATEM software. Also, I'm using it for checking the program, what is going to happen next. Then I see here a remote. That remote is for my bar, my screen bar, so that I have a nicely lit area, which is way better than last year, because last year it was terrible in my opinion. Then I have my hyper deck, which is right here. Maybe I can zoom in a little bit. Let me see if I can do that. No? So let's zoom in a little bit right here. My hyperdeck right here. Oh, right here. Then I've got my ATEM Mini Extreme ISO. It's very important. This is the HDMI version. I'm going to tell you why in just a bit. I got a GPI and tele interface because I had two manned cameras, and those people want to see if they're live, yes or no. So I'm actually utilizing the GPI functionality of the ATEM to provide that tele information to a light that they have mounted on their tripod. And the signal is actually going via the Holland Mars T1000, which is the intercom system. which is not on. It's barely on the picture. It's literally right here below the water, but it definitely is something that is very important. Then I've got here the Super Joy by PTZ Optics. Unfortunately, I had some problems with it. Honestly, what happened was that occasionally, without any notice, you remember if you are changing the joystick, and you go to left or to right or something, it stops once you release that joystick, but it did not stop anymore. It just went on and on and on. And only if you went the other way, it will go on and on and on. I did work around the problem by also opening up the Burdock application on my laptop right here and just giving a stop sign so it stopped, but it was not a great experience whatsoever. So that was a bit of a mess. I don't know why that's happening, but that happened. Then I here have, and that's I did decide to move that around later, but this is a preview setup, and this is actually providing providing me insight if something is in focus, yes or no. Though this is of course the ATEM Mini Extreme, so I only have two outputs. One output is going as program out to the HyperDeck, so I could not add a additional one for the preview. Of course, with the SDI version, that would be the case. Now I'm making a mistake. My fault, my bad, because this is an SDI version. So I did change that later, but I was a bit sorry for that, guys. That was not true. This is the ATEM SDI version. Because the day later was the ATEM HDMI version, and I'm gonna explain later. Sorry, my bad. Then I've got the CQ18T, which was brilliant. I love it. I love the machine. I think it's perfect. It's also perfect. I only what I had done was I had left and right from the front of house. I added two ambience microphones, and then the only thing that I had was two XLRs going to a speaker that are not in the picture, but they're right here and here below the microphone, or below the monitor, and then one additional, the two jacks all the way to this mini jack right here on the ATEM Mini as an input, and basically that's everything you need, and it's extremely good. So that is the setup that I had during the first day, and I actually, apart from the Super Joy, I have to admit that I think that this is about as perfect as it can be at the moment. So I'm really almost making this a perfect fit. Now, would my 2ME be better? Yes, but it would also be overkill for this situation. And as you can see, I didn't have a lot of space. So I think that looking at the amount of space that you have, I don't have to produce a show. That's all been done for me, and that's why I'm using this setup for registration purposes. But of course, if it's a really production show, of course I'm using the 2ME. Absolutely, 100%. This is interesting. Thanks for saying that, MT. Superjoy, I also had that issue several times. Very annoying. I totally agree with that. That should not be the case, because once that happens one time, you're already like, ugh. Now I need to restart the Superjoy quickly, or I have to go to that software package, and I'm actually, you're losing focus on what you're doing, which is not a very good experience. So I think that the Superjoy is a bit of a problem for me. So I might be tempted to either replace it or try to figure out how to get it fixed so that it doesn't happen again, because it's indeed quite annoying. Oh, there's a lot going on here. Sorry, guys. MD says, looks like a CIA back room. It might be. Well, actually, it was where they have power. It's a power room of the theater. And it does look like a surveillance kit of sorts. Yeah, I think that that is right. And that's a good question. How do you know how that looks like empty? Um, Zoom is also possible to hold, scroll to mouse. Don't know what that means. Not so super shy. Yeah, I'm a bit confused because I used to have not so much issues, but I actually did have it um, 3 gigs ago one time, and that was it. And I was like, oh, maybe it's my bad. Maybe I pressed the buttons or something wrong. And then 2 gigs back, it happened again, and it's like, but it happened like 2 or 3 times, and now again it happened 2 or 3 times, and a day later it also happened 2 or 3 times. So it's and that, okay, granted, we're talking about shows of 2 hours or 4 hours, but still, it should not happen, right? And hello to Automation for vMix. Appreciate you for taking the time. All right, so that's that part right there. But we're not done yet, because that was the first day. The second day actually was the same setup, but with only the ATEM Mini HDMI version. Let me explain. Do you remember what I just said, that I actually wanted to have like 1 or 2 days up front to really make sure that everything was correctly ironed out and I could use everything, and everything was tested? That was a big problem the day after. Let me explain why. Because the first day was on a Friday evening, so the gig started at top of my head 7:30, and it went all the way until 11 o'clock. Then we needed to get all of the cameras down, remove all the cables. Those are like 50-meter cables. Then we needed to, of course, also remove the whole production booth, get everything here in the studio again, which is still not cleaned up. Then that was on Friday evening, so we I think we were done at 1 o'clock at night, 1 o'clock, 1:30 at night. Then I went to bed at 2 o'clock, and I had to wake up at 6 o'clock because at 7, my dad and myself went to a place called Meppel in the north of the Holland to get Robin, my second Blue Russian, my new Blue Russian. He is 12, 13 weeks old. He is very, very playful. He's a really cool guy, and he looks a lot like Scooter. And it turns out that that is really because of a reason. It is actually because both Scooter and Robin are actually sharing the same father. His name is Mozart, and whenever they're doing exactly the same thing, my dad and myself are saying, that's a Mozart thing. It must be a Mozart thing. So, but he's really cool. He's a really cool guy, and we love him. And yeah, he's still in the learning curve. And as you can see, I'm smiling quite a lot because it's just a beautiful guy. So that was that part. So let's talk a little bit about the setup of the day after, because we had to get him up. That there's about a 2-hour drive, 2-hour drive back, 1 o'clock at home. Then at 5 o'clock, I needed to be in the venue, and at 6:30, they were already starting again. So I actually had only 1.5 hours to build everything up. So that was quite a challenge, though we managed. But it also meant that I first had the idea to have longer cables, to have the cameras a little bit closer to the stage for a bit of more optimum viewing experience. Though I could not do it anymore due to the fact that I just only had 1.5 hours to do everything. But it turned out to be really nice, and of course I still have another video to show you how that situation looked like. So let's show that. There you go. And let's show you. So again, the Allen and Heath, that's where the audio comes into play. The Super Joy again, which is again a great one. But this is then the A10 Mini HDMI version. Glasses, the same glasses that I have on at the moment. HyperDeck, same setup, exactly the same setup, but with HDMI and not with SDI. That's basically the same, the issue. And as you can see here, all of the cameras, there are 3 cameras, were all very close to where I was. I think that I have another, this is the front of that unit. So 2 cameras on this side. This is the boom mic setup. Yes, I did have that as well. I'm using the SuperJoy box also as a way to higher it up a little bit. And that's the this side. And I think that I have one more, and this is a picture from the other side of the venue so that you can see how things are looking. And that on the right hand side is the front of house. So we were very, very close to each other. So that was the second day, and that went really, really, really well. So it was really, that was a fantastic situation. Though, this time around, I did need to do some editing. You know that I really don't really like to edit that much, but I also promised that I want to learn it, and I actually had some fun today. So today I used the afternoon to mix 5 hours of content. So 5 hours, 1 times 2 hours. So 2 hours for the production theater, the big theater, 3 hours for the smaller setup that you just saw. And this is basically what my situation looked like. So I actually have a big TV screen, as you can see right there, from Samsung with a Neo LED, and I'm actually using that because of having the same look and feel as you have on your well, it's standard television. And then below that you see my trustworthy speed editor, which happened to be out of power, so I had to put it on a cable. The micro advanced panel, I actually use that for 2 or 3 shots as well. And basically this is perfect situation. That was really cool. Another thing that was really cool, and that is the following, is that I also added this is really bad. Let me do it this way. So I actually added some dynamics to make it even more nice to listen to, and barely out of frame, but you can also see that the tool itself, the DaVinci Resolve, actually does a quite nice validation on the audio quality to make sure that it's broadcast ready. So I actually put an eye on that the full 5 hours to make sure that you don't get issues there, because by legal blah blah blah, you need to make it as good as possible. So those were 2 days almost in a row of having roughly the same setup. The only difference was basically the ATEM SDI for the theater because of longer cables, and the ATEM HDMI because of some smaller cables, or shorter cables I mean, and also less time to set up. And actually both times it was really, really good, and I think that I finally can tell you that I've nailed that part. So if it's about registration, not production but registration, then that is my setup that I'm going to use from now on. That's perfect. And I've also showed myself that I can build everything up within an hour actually. So that's also great. Granted, I needed to prepare everything up front. So I do need to make sure that a day up front before I do that every cable is correctly sourced from the warehouse, which I don't have, but let's call it warehouse, to make sure that everything is fine, so that I just have to bring along a few of those plastic bins and we're done. Let's see if there are some comments. There's nothing worse than unreliability. Kit is there. um, so I am considering to purchase something else. I'm not going to tell you anything yet because it might change over time. But maybe later this year I'm going to change something. It says a long show. Yeah, so indeed. So the theater was about, yeah, it was 2 hours. 2 hours plus a break. So it was 2.5, 3 hours. And the other one was actually in real life 4 hours. And I could bring it down to 3 hours and a quarter. So 5 hours in total. And that's quite a lot of serious editing. Now, why did I need to do that today? Is because I need to get people to approve that it can actually be broadcasted on local television. So we need to verify that upfront. Otherwise, I get into trouble. Because in the theater, we actually had two scenes or sketches that are under embargo. You cannot really just show it. So I needed to remove those two sketches. It was a bummer because one of them was extremely cool. I had to laugh quite loud, but it's the way it goes, right? And that's also the reason why we cannot produce that show live. Granted that the one that we did a day later, actually, I should have done it live, honestly. It would be possible. Hey, Leandra, welcome. Sorry, late. That's okay, man. That's okay. And he says the venue is much smaller than the theater, so HDMI makes sense. Yeah, absolutely. And Leandro says the night setup. Thank you very much. And a really nice edit-to-go setup. Yep. Well, not really, because of course it's a television. It's a 43-inch television. So that's, and I do have a carrying bag for it. So yes, I can bring it along. I actually do that. Bring that along as a multi-viewer. If I bring along my 2ME switcher, I'm actually using that television, not the monitor, because then I have a bigger screen and I can really see everything. But that's of course quite a lot to bring along. But indeed, the micro panel is really nice. It's extremely nice for the DaVinci Resolve, and the speed editor is also mobile. So everything is mobile there, apart from that monitor. That were the 2 gigs that I had, and granted, for the second one, I actually just considered, okay, I'm just going to use the same thing that I'm using for the first day. So I actually just copied and pasted the Word document and just changed a few things. I'm not going to bother you with that. If you would like to have this document as an example for yourself, let me know in the comments below. Just say, I would like to see that document, because then I will just create an English version of it, remove all of the Dutch part, so that you can reuse it for your own convenience as like a template to learn from it. So let me know if you want to have that, then I'll make sure to do that. Leander says, I will be more accurate to watch it on a TV screen. That's true. I agree with that statement. And also listening to it as well. So that during the edit, I was actually not listening to my laptop. I was listening to the TV, because that's where I can actually listen exactly what people would hear at home as well. So that was my intent. Anyway, that's all that I had in store for you guys today. I really hope that you liked the show. I really loved going to the gigs, but there will be some other gigs coming very, very soon. As a matter of fact, I told that to you at the start of this show, is that in the weekend of 10, 11, and 12 February, there will be again, not 1, not 2, but 3 live shows that I will be producing. And one of them will be with the 2ME switcher, I think. Not sure yet. The other two will not be with the two meters. That will be with the mini. But I think that all of them will be with the SDI version of it, the ATEM SDI Extreme. Almost for sure, certain. So let's see. One of them will be fully mobile in a van, so hopefully not too cold. The other one will be at the Civic Center, where there will be some official opening, and then the third one will be at the church, which I will more often. I will more often be there, of course, because I'm volunteer there. But this time around, it's going to be a bigger church service than normal. So we're also expecting more audio things going on there as well. Leandro says, thank you for sharing your experience as usual. Thank you so much for saying that, Leandro. Rul says, I can imagine it's very stressful. The second day was very stressful. The first day actually was not that stressful because we were in control. We actually had time to eat something. We had time to sit and talk and have fun. So it was quite a difference. The second day was quite a challenge. Phil says we can always learn and make some notes. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. I thank everybody for being here. Next week, let me think. Next week we're gonna do a live show. I think. Yeah, we're gonna do a live show. And the week after, like I said, it will most likely not be a live show due to the fact that, well, I just mentioned it's Carnival, and I know that it will most likely will be ready by then, but I will be again quite. I don't want. Let's just say I think it's better not to. All right. Thank you so much for being here. Let me see if I can get Robin quickly. If not, just give me a few seconds. I will give some music here just to see if I can get Robin. Or what I'm going to do is something different. I will leave you and try to get him. If not, then, it could not be done. See you after this end of the show. Unfortunately, he is sleeping. See you next time. Bye bye.